about to release a new album called Warriors on June 16th.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
It's 11 songs. It was produced by Davey Warsop and Fat Mike, and we had to jump right into making this record as soon as we got off the Interrupters tour in November, and had to have it turned in by February. So you can imagine.
The whole world shuts down as we know it.
And it got gnarly. I mean, it was a tough record to make, but I think it's well worth it. It's definitely a jump up for us, and it's tough, and it talks about some important stuff, and it's got great singing and harmonies on it, and a great drummer.
For this record, we were thinking like, you know, give it everything you can, and like don't let anybody tell you to stop, and like if there are forces that will like be against you, but like keep going, keep fighting.
And Lynn wrote a song called Warriors that's on the record, and when we were like playing around, I don't even know how it came up, but we were like, Warriors would be a fucking killer title for the record
we went
too.
around the titles and figured that that's such a fitting name for what is happening in our country and
In the world, yeah.
Right.
and how our presidency has been, and everything, the government, and just all these related issues as far as feminism and women and all the things that we've had to deal with. Before, though, this happened because we were on tour with the Interrupters. It was some heated times, and we were traveling across the country, and we hadn't even thought of what we were doing for this album yet. Like, we had no clue, and a lot of feelings and emotions came behind a lot of that writing that's on this album.
We found a lot of stuff as a band. We were talking about it earlier. Like, I got better, but everybody got better.
Everybody did.
You know what I mean? It's like we all kind of rose up to this place of like, let's not be jealous and judgmental and weird towards each other anymore. Let's try to fucking spread this positive shit that we've got going to the rest of the world where we can, because now we have an opportunity to do so. So
Be encouraging.
Yeah. Jenny wrote Amputations, which is a really great song.
You just released that song yesterday.
Yeah. And the first time I heard it was the first day back for me out of detox. And they kind of drugged me into playing again, which I was like, I don't think my body can do it. Like, you guys are gonna have to get somebody to fill in for me for a year. Like, I didn't think I had it in me. Anyway, so we went, and Jenny pulled me aside because we were doing like an acoustic thing outside, and she's like, there's some songs here that are gonna be a little hard to hear, and I had to like swallow that. You know what I mean? And like not be upset at her. And the songs
I didn't write it to upset you.
No, I know.
It's like based on like I write as like catharsis. You know what I mean? Like,
I think.
So like that was crazy, and it was like I have no control over you or that. So like this is just coming out, you know? Like,
Totally.
But I had to be like, I gotta tell you.
And I thought it was a great song, so I was like, we should put that fucking song on the record, despite what it's about. You know what I mean? Because it's a good
song is about you.
Yeah, my brother stayed at my house while he was going through a divorce, and he was like, "Did you write that for me?" And I was like, "I guess I did." It's for anybody that
that's stuck in some sort of toxic relationship with anybody.
Because those lyrics can apply to anything.
Sure.
Really. Any kind of
Absolutely.
breakup or falling out. Or,
bullshit boss.
Yeah,
Sure,
it can be about a
yeah.
job, it can be about your friends.
We have always kind of had these feelings and these conversations, and like trying to like inform that and keep abreast of that dialogue that is constantly moving and changing. And like, guys, now it's about intersectionality and like stuff like that. And we like during this election tour, it became apparent that was like we should be honest about those things that we believe, instead of like privately knowing the truth about feminism and that it's not a scary thing, and like hoping that other people wake up. Now it's like we just have to be honest and talk to as many people as we can about this.
Just because a president comes in that has had all of this, you know, disrespect for women and minorities and all this kind of stuff, but how that allowed so many people to be like, I'm a fucking racist too. That's rad. I hate women too. And it was like, whoa, we have to do something about this. You know what I mean? But maybe I'm always looking for silver linings, that maybe now this is the last of it. You know what I mean? Now it's so out in the open that it's gonna have to be systematically shut down. Hopefully. So maybe that's what we know. It has to get ugly before it could get better.
And I think also helping to like kind of being open and honest about the issues and you know the real meaning behind feminism, and not being afraid of these fucks. I'm hoping, you know, I guess like, you know, even though we were a very honest and open band to begin with as it is, but perhaps and we be able to, like, this will encourage those that are marginalized and terrified to be okay and brave enough to stand up and be like, you know what, fuck you.
And also, like,
You know?
traveling, people in redder areas, like, would open up in small ways to us. Like, there was, like, this little girl at a Subway that was, like, we come in and people don't know what this
yeah,
is
that's
in,
right, I
like,
remember.
Alabama or whatever. And she was just, like, she just told me, like, I was like, I like your hair. And she was like, yeah, my partner's a hairdresser. And then, like, she waited a second and she used the pronoun she. And I was like, you're coming out to me, and I think that's awesome. Like, because you know that we're weird and that you feel weird here. And, like, so if we're doing that on tour, like, then yeah, this is a safe place to talk about those things and ask any questions that you have
Not be
about the word
ridiculed.
feminism, or like, no, like, this is a safe place. We want to educate people and not shame people and, like, you should have known this by now.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
everyone already needs to know this, and if you don't, you're a fucking asshole. Like, that's not what this is.
No.
It's
Yeah.
like,
So
you know.
being on that Interrupters tour, it was a very emotional time, not just for us, but a lot of people that we ran into.
Oh my
and
God.
So many girls, I mean, not just girls, men, everybody was coming up to us. And,
Just sad
and like,
afterward,
I
like-
met a girl that when we played in Denver, she brought up our song Sugarcane and like thanked us for writing or doing
That
that
was in
song.
Boston.
Boston too, but there was
Yeah,
one chick in
Boston.
Denver that I met, and she's like was in a horrible relationship, and so I think she's out of it now. But at that time, you know, she came to see us, never seen us, and heard that song, and that song like kind of brought her to be brave and to stand up and to get out of that situation. There's so many people, regardless of where they're from, they're not, it seems like they're not free, or they're not able to rise above some of their circumstances that they're in because they're afraid. And so they get stuck and they feel like they got to live that life and stay in it.
Or
And
keeping it
if we can
secret
do music
afterward, like,
that
you don't have
empowers people or to rise them up or to make them a better
That's
person,
amazing 'cause they see
it doesn't
other-
matter whether you're female or
They see
male.
other
we don't
women
care.
talking about it,
Yeah.
you know, calling bullshit on all that.
Yeah.
kind of abuse
Exactly, and I think that's
Saying
great.
it's
I mean,
okay to
and the
come
fact that
out
we get to
Yeah.
express
That
ourselves
shit happens
and do what we
it's
do.
not your fault. Like, no,
Yeah.
You know?
it's not.
No, it's not.
It never is. It never is.
So it was a heated time because the night that the presidential election was going on, we were in Atlanta.
Crying in the
And it was
van.
such an emotional night because we had
Poor
like
Kevin,
major
it was his birthday,
anxiety.
too.
But we felt that tension and we felt that it was crazy. That we felt that
The next morning, we stopped at some gas station in bumfuck Atlanta or Georgia, and there was a couple brothers older black men outside, and I was like, "How you guys doing? Like,
how do you guys feel?
How do you
Like,
guys
we
feel?"
knew it.
And they're like, "Oh man, you know, shit's gonna be different," you know, kind of thing. Like, and I
but
was
they're like, we knew he was going to win
But it was
because
like,
it's all about money and politics. And I was like, you're fucking right.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll get the next one.
So now it's like you need to be aware and you need to know what's going on.
and you got to pick your battles and get off the internet and actually go out and fucking do something.
Show up for something.
Talking.
Show up for a cause that isn't necessarily about people that look just like you. That's like another thing. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if there's something that you're concerned about, you know what I mean? Like if it's about women's rights, if it's about trans rights, about LGBT rights,
Environmental
rights. If
animals'
you fucking
rights.
care about it, go out and fucking
Yeah.
do something.
Pay
about it.
attention.
Pay attention. Because the only way to have real change is to get involved.
Absolutely. You got to start in your community as well.
Yeah, so even if it's as small as like getting your neighborhood together and like getting a petition to be able to plant more trees in your local park.
Yeah.
That is still involvement. That is still a progressive move for change and change in a positive way.
Yeah.
You know?
And you were saying in an interview that you were trying to destigmatize certain topics to people that you really respected and that
Yeah.
were, you know, like decent humans, but maybe weren't really agreeing with you.
I believe that if people have all the information, they will make the right choice. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people are like, that's because you're a good person, so you believe people are good people. And it's like, I believe that given, for real, like, if you know what this means on all sides, what
All
makes
the
somebody
time.
do something hateful towards another person is probably that person doesn't have what they need.
Yeah.
At some
They don't have the
level.
right information.
Right? Like,
Right.
or maybe you
Or
need
they
to
have
have
twisted up, whether it's daddy
You only know
issues or
one
whatever.
side of the story.
Yeah.
That
And
or
nobody's
it could
ever-
be jealousy that they wanted to pursue those goals, but they don't have the resources or
Yeah.
the means
Or
to be
the
able to
guts,
achieve
yeah.
them, or haven't,
Or you don't have
or
enough
tried.
opportunities,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like,
Then you fucking have to steal something. Like it's just like, let's go back. Let's give everybody what they
positive
need. Like,
accomplishments are not served to you on a silver
yeah,
platter.
and they're not exclusive either. It's not like somebody wins and therefore you lose. Like
everybody at the table.
Yeah.
It's not like only us 4 women can be in a band and fuck any 4 other
other
women that
ladies
tries
can
to
be
be in
in
a band because
bands.
we're doing it. You know
I was
what I
gonna,
mean?
no,
Like,
you start a band too, and
fuck
I think
that,
you're
start a band.
influencing
Let's go
a lot
play
of
together. Like, I wanna hear the
young
fucking
girls
rad
to start
stuff.
bands because
Yeah.
at the Ottawa show, there's like these young girls.
such a
It was
good
an all
show.
ages
That was so
show,
awesome.
That's what
and they
was
were like
great
so
about that
stoked.
tour. That
So many
Interruptus
pierogies.
made it an all ages thing,
Yeah.
and we have not had the chance to actually play all ages all the time. Everything's been 21 and over.
Yeah.
And
Which is
that
cool,
tour
but-
really like it opened up to us meet so many
But it's
young.
important to stoke
Yes.
the kids because they
Oh my
got to be
God.
informed.
And it's not
you
just
know?
little girls either; it's little boys too.
Yeah, we
like
had a
Yeah.
lot.
those that are just like, you guys are so cool. Like they look up to us too, and it's not about like, oh, you guys are just a bunch of girls, blah blah blah. Like the whole.
Well, it's trying to
separating-
eliminate that
Yeah,
whole thing,
yeah.
right?
Fuck
It's
yeah.
for everyone.
Fuck the separation of
Rad
gender.
humans, and as a human, I want to do what you're humaning at.
We're back up, and you're watching Rock Talk Media.
What are your plans for the rest of the summer? Any tours going on?
Warped Tour.
Warped Tour, the whole thing?
The whole thing.
How long
We
is
are
that?
going
2
to
months?
sweat.
2 months?
We are going to have our shoes melt on asphalt for you.
Is there a fight to lose?